welcome everybody. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. We're going to talk about tonight a lot of what we talked about last week with sex versus intimacy. Plus, we're going to talk about what constitutes an affair. You want to stay tuned tonight. For those who are joining us, I'm Dr. Willie Jolley, and this is. Oh, you got to come closer. What are you doing over here? She is hot. I'm dropping my pencil. Y'all in Pittsburgh. Wow. What are you doing in Pittsburgh? Wow. All right. I'm Dr. Willie Jolley, and this is Dee Taylor-Jolley. We're the authors of the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. We've been married for 37 years, haven't had an argument in over 35 years. We did have a great question the other night. A gentleman asked us, well, what does it constitute an argument? You say you haven't argued. Well, how do you define an argument?
That was a good question.
Good question. Really good question. And the answer was that it's intense disagreement or intense conflict. So that's what we constitute as an argument. And so we haven't had that intense argument, disagreement, conflict in 35 years. Now, those first couple of years were pretty tough. Oh, you speaking tomorrow? Good. And so we, you know what? We said this is how we roll because we've learned some secrets. Now, we did argue early on, but once we learned these secrets, we got these mentorship tips and we embraced them. It was on like popcorn and has been now for 35 years. Now, let's take a couple minutes. Again, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. Available at jollymarriage.com if you want a signed autographed copy. The new Music and Motivation Power Book is getting such great reviews. 2 CDs that will give you therapy in a CD. It'll lift your spirits. If you've been depressed, if you've had anxiety, if you're COVID fatigue, if you're exhausted, if you're anxiety filled and you need some help or some hope and some uplift, I highly recommend the Music and Motivation Power Book. 25 chapters. It's each essence of a chapter is a different thought. That is a thought, then a song, or 2 songs. You want to do this. So, boom. And then the old standard that everybody loves, a setback is a setup for a comeback. If everyone need a comeback, it's now. Also, we are excited that finally you've been asking, when are we going to do a longer, rather than a half hour? Well, coming up this Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, we're doing the kickoff of our intro session of the biggest mistakes people make in marriage series and how to fix them. And you want to be a part of it. It's going to be about 90 minutes, might be a little longer. We're going to talk about some specifics. I think we're going to take question and answer and an anonymous forum so that you can put your deep issues, deep-seated problems, and we will be able to address them anonymously. So you got to register like tonight. This is it. So at jollymarriage.com/events with an S. Events with an S. So Jolly Marriage, and it's $20. The intro session is $20. That's the intro. So you ought to take advantage of this intro price because the rest of them are going to be more than that. So you want to jump on this right now. Go to jollymarriage.com/events. Whether you're married, single, it's only one registration price for as many people as you can get on one computer. It's per computer. Do it right now. Okay, we're going to first start with a review from last week because last week was a hot show. It was dynamite, and dynamite, a little more dynamite. So we talked about sex versus intimacy from a woman's perspective. And my wife, my beautiful bride, had the floor. And boy, did she take hold of that floor and talk about the real deal. You know, what something someone said to us the other night, we've had a number of people who we've had mentorship calls with who wanted to, you know, get on our calendar and hire us to talk to them through some of their challenges. One of them said something that was so profound, said, what I like about you folks, you're obviously a people of faith. I'm a licensed minister. We're church folks. We go to First Baptist of Glen Arden.
We're believers.
We're believers.
You could be a church folks and not be believers.
True. So we are believers. But she said a lot of time church people will not talk about the real issues, sex, or the problems therein, the ones that are messed up in their relationships and sex issues. And what we're going to talk a little bit about tonight, what constitutes an affair. We're going to talk about that. So anyway, let's talk first about a review of last week, because it really was a great show. Dee gave some great information about sex.
It was my perspective.
From a woman's perspective, your perspective. And you
Yes.
are a woman. Last I looked, you was a woman. Mm-hmm. All right.
Such a character. Okay.
Okay. So
I used some terms in terms of my sharing what my perspective was.
Yeah.
In terms of sex versus intimacy.
And
there were a couple of terms for, and I realized I should have added a fifth. So here we go.
All right, here we go.
I said, and they're kind of strange. I said words, exercise, playtime, lubricant. That makes you laugh.
I love that when you say lubricant or lubrication.
And I added laughter.
Ooh, that's okay. A good one. Okay.
So words, exercise, playtime, lubricant, and laughter.
Okay, well, expand a little bit. Expound.
Okay.
Share.
So words. I think for females and all the women that I've talked to or who've raised questions with me, it is the words that begins the intimacy or how to get close to somebody, the communication. When we talk about sex, money, and communication, a common thread, I like to think of like a red ribbon. The common red ribbon is the sex. Is the communication.
You know, that turned me on with that.
The common thread is the communication.
Okay.
Because if you want great intimacy and sex, you certainly need to communicate so that both parties are satisfied, right?
Correct.
And then the second challenge is the money, right? And there's something called infidelity related to money.
Oh, cool.
And because you're not on the same page related to your finances, and it's not just how much money did we have in the account, did we budget, but where are you going in the long run in terms of how you see the world and your dollars? You know, you want to retire together.
You done got off track already.
I'm sorry.
If she get on money, woo.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. So number one is words. How you communicate with your significant other.
Okay.
And if you don't know words to use, you got to learn them.
Men, do you say
men and women for their spouses, or and men communicating with women. Women need to hear sweet, loving words and phrases.
And that's the starting point of intimacy.
That's the starting point for intimacy.
Okay.
Because the words here, it starts in the mind.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so it starts in the mind. And so the words that you use and how you say them can turn me on. And I think many women would say that, or the ones that I have communicated with over the years. That's what they say. It is how you make me feel. And it's not just the touching, but it's the words, and that where it starts. And then to get close to the person, then it's the physical closeness.
I love what Terrence said. Intimacy. Intimacy.
Speaking man language.
The way you are intimate with your car is the same way you should be intimate with your wife.
Oh, he has such a way with words.
Oh, that Terrence. Okay.
So here we go. So first I'm saying words.
Yeah.
And in many instances, men don't know how to use words to romance their mates. And you can say, well, how did y'all get together? Well, I don't, for a variety of reasons. But then it comes down to you need to use words to keep the excitement alive. And that is something you can learn and you can work with. We won't go into all of the reasons how you ended up together and now you have issues with communicating with each other. Okay.
Good.
So second was exercise. You say, well, why exercise? Because it helps to keep the body and everything toned so that when you do have sex, because you've gone from intimacy to sex, you can move around.
You can have some.
You're not a bump on the log. You're not just laying there, right?
Yeah.
So that there is participation. Yeah. There needs to be some muscles and some activity.
I'm with that.
So you know what?
Yeah.
Yoga is a great way.
I kind of thought you would.
So yoga is a great way to keep all the parts lubricated and making it easier for you to move around. That's important. That really is.
Yeah. So you should be some fitness, some form
fitness. So that's why I said words, then exercises, then playtime. So playtime is actually when you get to touching and being close to your mate and doing things together. And then I said sometimes the playtime can actually be your spouse, your mate can be your play toy. Like you're my play toy. We won't go any further than that. But he's a great play toy. And then we get to lubrication, right?
That's right.
And I said with lubrication, certainly as we age, we go through periods that there need to be some help.
Yeah, some help?
Some help.
Women need some help?
Women need some help. Men need some help.
Men need some help
I'm talking
too.
about from the women's perspective.
Look, Cynthia Wilson said, "I'll catch a cramp."
I said I need a number 2 pencil.
Mark Stevens, good to see you, buddy.
So you might need some help.
Yeah.
And you got to talk about that.
Yeah.
And so again, it goes back to that red. I love the red ribbon. The red ribbon, that common thread that ties it all together. Right?
Okay. Yes.
Because we don't talk, we haven't figured out how to say things, and so we kind of keep it in our head, like you ought to know, which is stupid. Because no, I don't know if you don't.
No one married a mind reader. No one.
And then I added, because I thought about it, we laugh all the time.
We do.
Even when I'm annoyed with you. When I say I'm annoyed with you, we start laughing.
Yeah, we do.
But that is because we really work at, we study each other. I can sense what you're going to say. I can sense when you're pretending that you're paying attention to me. So you're laughing now. And then I'm like, you are not paying attention to me. But a sense of humor that I had to develop because I married into an interesting family that the family is ADHD. I would say that.
All of us.
Oh my God.
The Jollies we are creative,
but good people, but it was a culture shock being around all these people who have 10 million ideas a minute. And like I shared with you the other day, we were in the kitchen and he actually cooked salmon. We had our baby boy over for dinner.
Thai, honey,
and
basted broiled salmon.
And he did the salmon and I did all the vegetables because he doesn't like the way I cook since I am.
When you were vegan. Look, let me hear his head.
No, let's not go off.
I gotta tell him.
No.
Listen, let me tell him. When we were dating, she cooked up big meals. And when my children were little, she cooked up fried chicken and chili and lasagnas and all sorts of delicacy. She went vegan. Yeah. Everything is plain Jane.
First of all, that is not so.
Yeah, it is.
You get lots of veggies, all kinds of veggies and fruit and nuts. And you get tofu. Okay, let's not go
anyway,
there.
okay.
So anyway, we were in the kitchen.
Thank you, Rick Mills, for saying that. He said,
what did he say?
He said we're helping his relationship so much. So we're glad to be able to do that.
So well, we were in the kitchen. He was doing his salmon thing. This is a major deal when he does his salmon thing. It's so major. I've already done my other vegetables, moved to the side, and I become the sous chef, however it is. Like, take out the aluminum foil and put the foil in the pan. Anyway, I was reminded of his mom. And I said to him, you know what? I had to learn. And that's what I'm saying, the communication, and it is of your will and what you choose to do.
Right.
That I had to learn to adjust to Okay. And his mom said to me, we were getting in the car. She's getting in the front seat. She always sat in the front. Fine. I sat in the back, and she said, and she was like late getting in the car. We were waiting on her. And I kind of, well, we're late. And she said in a sweet voice, she was the most wonderful lady. She says, well, nothing happens until I get there. And that was a revelation, because that's a family thing. They're always late.
Yeah.
So I said, this is how I'm going to have to roll with this family.
That's how you have
I
to roll
got to
with this.
calm myself down. So part of this whole experience, just in terms of relationships, you got to look at the lay of the land.
Yeah. Yep.
So that you can figure out how you're going to fit in if you want to make your relationship last.
Big point.
And that is valuable to me, to work at making my relationship last, because he is worth it. And I like being with him. And I so think that part of our challenges are we're not honest with ourselves. We might not like our spouses because of things that they've done. We hold resentments. We don't talk to them, right? And so it just builds up. And I wrote down the word resentment.
Wow.
That can destroy. You know, you say definition of what is anger. Somebody asked that. What happens with resentment? What is resentment, and what does it do to destroy your relationship?
That is profoundly, because many people won't let it go. Whatever it is, they won't let it go, and they have resentment, and they won't let it go, and it just erodes. It's like corrosive acid, and it just erodes the relationship and erodes the relationship.
I was reading I read all this stuff. I was reading Ann Lander's column, and someone said, when you take medicine and hope that the other person dies.
No, you take poison.
Take poison.
You drink poison and hope that the other person dies. That's what resentment's like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's resentment. That's
I'm
hatred.
holding on to it.
It's hatred. It's resentment. It's poison. It's
and the only one who's dying is
bitterness. Yeah, you drink and hope that it'll hurt the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that is not smart. But you know what? It takes work. And that's why we have been.
I think on both people's part.
Absolutely. And that's why we wrote the book. We said we want to help people who are having relationship issues, relationship anxiety. There's some friction. We want to give them systems. We have had more conversations with couples over the last few weeks, last 5 days, and consistently they've got these issues, and I keep telling them, stop. The reason why the issues are so profoundly in your windshield or in front of you is because you have no systems. What are your systems for disagreeing? What are your systems for getting back together? What are your systems for being kind to each other, being caring? What are your systems for getting past the trials?
Sometimes, where is it that you have to act your way?
That's one of my points.
Because you might not feel like it.
You must think your way into a new way of acting.
Right.
Act your way into a new way of thinking.
You might not feel like, it's like, I don't feel God around me. Does that mean that God is not there?
You don't feel like it, but that's not mean God ain't there. I might not see the electricity, but put my finger in an electrical charge, right. You won't feel it.
Right.
All right.
So you have to be able to step out and do the right things, even if it's uncomfortable.
Right.
I don't feel like it, so therefore I'm not.
And
I'm not going to participate.
And it's not.
Now, I'm not talking about.
It's not going to serve you well, as they say.
No, but I'm not talking about abuse.
No.
I'm definitely not talking about abuse or anything like that.
We don't.
But if you are feeling a certain what do they say?
A certain kind of way.
A certain kind of way. You got to talk about it.
That's a new phrase, but it's I was feeling a certain kind of way.
And then the person who is listening must listen, not to respond, but just to let the other person express and not get angry. And if they're saying things you don't like, okay, now what?
Then they get an argument. Cynthia said, "Be the change you expect." I like that as well.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Be the change you expect. And Terrence said, "Do some couples confuse communication with control?" That's I don't know. I don't know if that's it. We haven't had that issue, Terrence. But we have had an issue with people who are resentful and want to control the conversation. Now that's different. That they want to control the conversation and not let the other person have their say. That's why we say you got to be friendly, be frank, be fair, then be focused on the win-win.
But you know, even if
be fair is listen to the other person's side.
But even if you control the conversation, that does not change how the other person feels.
A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. Until you're able to have open and honest conversation. So somebody says, I didn't realize. But you got to hear their side. We hear each other's side.
And then to receive what they're saying. You might not like it. You might not like what they're saying. Now, what are you going to do about it?
Well, there's times you say something I might not initially agree, but because I trust you and I respect you.
That's another word.
And I love you and I realize you're smart. I'm going to listen and take it.
Even though you might not.
I might not end up doing it if something.
And then I know that there's some things you are.
What is the word you use? You say I am nicely resistant.
Obstinate, is that a good word?
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I'm nice about it.
But then, yes, you are. But I already know you're not going to do it. Like you leave your. We have this running conversation about the fact that he convinced me to sleep on a certain side of the bed, and his side of the bed has all the stuff that I don't want to see when he comes into the room. So he persuaded me. He's good at that. He persuaded me why I should sleep on that side of the bed, right?
Yeah, right.
Which made it you could get to your side quicker than I could get to my side.
Yes.
But then you leave a pile of shoes. So when I'm like, honey, you say, I'm just gonna move. And we kind of laugh, but it's a mess. And you know it drives me crazy.
But I did move, didn't I?
And it's an ongoing thing with us. When it becomes like 10 pairs of shoes right there. And then I'm like, honey.
And I go and move it. Thank you, Cynthia. She said you guys are very smart. Well, we are grateful to be able to share what we've learned, as well as not just experiential, but what we learned from couples that have been married 40, 50, 60, 70 years, and what we learned from those couples. And that's why we put it in the book. Before we go further, we only got about 6 minutes. We're not going to get to the second part.
But we do want to introduce that. But I think it's important that we say, and I don't think I can say it enough, that a sense of humor is so important.
Yeah.
That whole thing about laughter and being able to have inside jokes and the language that only the two of you understand, or how you look at each other across the room. Because and I think that has made me appreciate you more, because I do have a dry sense of humor. And you've been able to bring that out and get me to laugh at myself. I think that has drawn us closer too.
I think so. I think it's humor.
And it's okay.
We talk about it in the book.
And I think it's okay. It is okay.
It is.
I love me the way I am. But then when you say, you're odd, Dee, and I love the fact that you're odd. That's a wonderful thing.
I love it. I love the fact.
And see, that makes me love you more, because you like the fact that I'm weird.
Yeah, you're a little strange.
And you say, see, I'm a little strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you got open to being funny as we went along.
I had to. That was part of the survival. When I was around my Jolly, and I'm like, oh, okay. This sweet lady, nothing happens until
she was
there.
Nothing. She does.
It wasn't arrogant or
not
anything.
At all arrogant. It was just
loving.
She just didn't like to be on time. She just had
just whenever she got there, she lived a long, healthy life.
Yes, she did.
And I said, you know what? I can adopt some of that. Let me just. And that's hard for me, because I have an anal personality.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So look, jollymarriage.com. Everybody needs to get the book. Get 2 copies. We sent out a bundle today. 2 books, 2 workbooks, audio book, and a CD seminar. You need to invest in that. Invest in your marriage. If you guys are willing to invest in your marriage, you'll have great results. Now, here's the second part. We have had this ongoing for the last year, telling y'all we're going to do it, we're going to do it, we're going to do it. Well, it's this Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. We're going to do the intro session of the biggest mistakes married people make in their relationship, and relationship mistakes people make in their marriage and relationships, and how to fix them. It's a series, and the intro session is only $20. Don't miss this. The next rest of them will not be $20. So you want to jump on this.
There'll be a package.
There'll be a package. We have a package for you. We'll have a package deal.
You know what? We did not cover today's topic.
I know. So we got $20. We got $20. We want you to go to jollymarriage.com/events. EVENTS. Register now. Register right now tonight. Everybody go and invest $20 and spend time with us. We're going to have a program that's going to be a seminar. Plus, you get to ask questions and answers in an anonymous form.
So how will they ask questions?
It'll be via text, email. And they'll put it through email, and we'll read it anonymously. No names. You can add
via email or via the chat. That's a
no. Cheryl has a process. She'll have the process. Don't worry how to do it. They won't be known for anybody else. We're the only one who'll see it, and we won't call their names, and we can be honest and open about their issue.
Message.
Yeah. The website again, Rick Mills, is jollymarriage.com/events with the S. Jolly, Joll, by the way, Jolley. Cynthia, EY. We got an E in my Jolly, and the E is for enthusiasm. So, so jollymarriage.com, JOLLEY marriage.com/events with an S. There you go, with an S on it, with a JOLLEY marriage/events. Register right now tonight. And
next week we're going to be talking about
what constitutes an affair.
Mm-hmm.
What kind? Can
they have an emotional affair? And I said we had touched on that before, but then
we got some more to talk about this time. But we got some data and some real life experiences of stuff we're dealing with.
We are helping
people with. Let me put it in the chat for everybody. It's jollymarriage.com/events. All right, that's it. Boom. All right, go there and get that and subscribe to that. Okay, our time is just about up. Time for us to go out with our song. This is a song from my jazz album, Close to You.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.